Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Save Point Society. I am your host, Dan, aka Goldenspider, and with me once again is the rest of our lovely little society. To my left, as always, is Anthrometal, aka Nick, periodic achievement whore, and full-time tired. How's it going, friend?
I have a Buster Sword!
Oh yeah, celebrating the finally getting that announcement for Resident Evil Revelation.
Resident
Final
Evil.
Fantasy Revelation.
I mean,
Oh my
close
God,
enough.
Twice, 2 times in a row.
This is written down, man. No, it's not.
This is not. No, this is never. This is why we write stuff down, people.
Actually, I got this before that, so that's just a happy coincidence. I'm actually blocking my microphone. It's over here. No, I got this beforehand because I am still 12, and when I see things, I'm just like, you know what? I have a little money I can drop on that. Sure, why not?
Oh, yeah,
is it missing materia? Yes. Is it all foam and it scares me when I hold it out like this? Yes. But you know what? I have a goddamn Buster Sword now.
Oh yeah, live your best.
Anyways, no, I'm doing all right.
Oh yeah. And then in the lower left purple corner is the one and only Panda Fin. Either probably going to be swapping between No Cam and once again in the garage. But how are you doing today?
Great. It's Destiny Day, so RIP to all the Guardians out there. Happy Destiny Day. 6ix9ine, just that's our day to shine. And I'm in the garage waiting for my brother to bring me stuff so that I can make this funny.
Oh,
Okay.
midstream surprise. Okay.
Stay tuned for that. And then
crap.
below me in the green corner is once again opulent pasta, our overly enthusiastic chat bestie, also known as Taylor. How are you doing today?
Hello. I am your favorite yapper. I'm extra good. Today's actually my 5-year anniversary with my partner.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you so much. So also, Destiny Day, fine day. I feel you. 6ix9ine, it's a good day. And Narrowscope is this weekend, so I'm extra good. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. Well, from those of us that are joining us for the first time, you might be wondering, what is the Save Point Society? What do you guys do here? Well, to put it simply, this is a video game book club. Like a book club, each month one of our society members will be picking us a game for us to play over the month, and then we all gather here live on twitch.tv/neonpocketdimension to talk about it. And at the end of the episode, the next person will pick our next game in a round-robin fashion. So we kindly encourage you to join us in this journey and play the game alongside us, and join the conversation live in the Twitch chat every the second Monday of every month, barring life being life. And or if not, you can go ahead and chat along in the YouTube comments if you're watching the VOD later. For our 4th episode, which marks the end of one full cycle, or first full cycle here through all of our hosts picking one of our games. Our game has been Chants of Sennaar, chosen by Taylor. Chants was originally released September 5th, 2023, has the following description from Steam. In this award-winning puzzle adventure game, play as the Traveler on a quest to reunite the peoples of the Tower. Observe, listen, and decipher ancient languages in a fascinating universe inspired by the Myth of Babel. Chants of Sennaar received a slew of nominations for multiple Game Awards from the BAFTAs, the Hugos, the Game Awards, and the Golden Joysticks, and actually won 3 French video game industry awards, the Pegas, or Pegasuses, for Best Video Game, Best Indie Game, and Best Video Game Design. It currently sits at an 85 on Metacritic and an Open 2 on OpenCritic. And so, Taylor, as the picker of this game, we'll go ahead and start with you. What did you think about Chants of Sennaar?
As I might have alluded to, this is possibly one of my favorite video games of all time now. It's
Oh.
definitely in my firm top 10. I kind of knew this ever since I heard about the game, that it would be right up there for me. So I felt super lucky getting to share it with you guys and get to have this type of experience with it, especially given the type of game it was. And yeah, I was floored. The storytelling was unbelievable. The stylism, or how stylish it was, but just like also the way they went about their stylization and how that was brought through the gameplay as well. Everything just informed the next thing, and it made me feel so smart. And I love I love when a game really
Yeah.
does like want you to believe it, not only in yourself, but that you can do it. And this game, everything that you do makes you feel more and more in tune with yourself and the game. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Oh my god.
I'm glad to hear it. And what about you, Anthrometal? You alluded to some of your thoughts on this game last episode when it was picked.
Yeah, I originally played this game. I don't remember when exactly it came out. I think it was part of Game Pass. But I've said it before, just in case people are not know, the anthro in my name actually comes from my degree in anthropology, the study of human culture and civilization. So, it has a lot of cross, what's it called, like cross study with other oh my goodness, like other academic fields, I should let's say, like, so like linguistics works a lot with archaeology and anthropology. When you find a dead language, or you find something that helps translate things around, like the Rosetta Stone, for examples. So like this game is such a cool kind of play on those things, on those ideas. And like I was catching up, getting myself refreshed before we started, and they were mentioning that they're that's kind of a take on the Tower of Babel legend. And it's cool. It's so nice. It's so great. And this, there's a lot of, it does a lot of what my favorite things is, and especially for a puzzle game, it's really important. It's show, don't tell. And seeing, and basically you working things out just by taking all those context clues that you get from all the different stuff. It's just so much fun. And it's so much, the puzzles, while I won't call them overly challenging. I think they were the right amount of difficult.
Yeah.
There's a handful of puzzle games that some of them, like The Witness, and some of those games as that ilk can be so obtuse with how you're supposed to approach a puzzle. And this one, while of course not in the same vein as those, was just the right amount. But I really enjoyed my time with that. I went ahead and got all the completions for it, which I'm trying to remember. I was looking over the achievement list and being like, I don't remember any of this, or I remember occasionally some of them. But no, I really enjoyed it, and I like how each I don't know if you want to call them biomes or levels, or like each advance that you get floor, I guess, added a new, it's like such a fun twist on everything. I think the first time I played it, I really wasn't expecting that amount of diversity in there. I thought it was just like, oh, it's one language.
I don't think anyone said anything.
Oh, I thought somebody said something. It just, the diversity in language was so fun to kind of see, and then knowing that that's how language works, like, and seeing the especially written language and pictographic language that this represents. So yeah, it was just really cool. I really enjoyed the game. I don't know if I can necessarily put it in my top 10, but it is a very good game.
Yeah, that was, I definitely agree with a lot of your kind of viewpoints there, and that was one of the things that really stood out to me the most when I was playing through it, is that, like, obviously it's a puzzle game, so there is one right answer, but you're not all the times expected to know that answer immediately. And they're like, oh no, you're not gonna know what this word means, so you just have to explore the world more. And that is such you don't really see that done be very often in a puzzle game. I feel it's like all of the answers are out there for you. You just have to find them and be able to put all the set dressing, the background, all the like errant conversations that other people are having, and just like bring it all together to decipher the language. I thought that was very cool.
It's kind of I'm going to draw an illusion, but it may probably not be correct, but like Myst, right? The old point and click adventure games were very much heavily puzzle oriented, but again, it was how do you go about solving this, and not, when you think of blueprints as well, there are so many ways to solve like puzzles, or I don't want to say solve, but come up with the solution to, and everybody has their own little logics or freehand or shorthand that they devise to come up with the answers to them. And it's so like and I think that's the most fascinating thing, especially when we get to like the water cooler talks that we can have on it, is like how coming up with this, or I feel like drawing from what you were saying. I went this way because I can't remember.
Hello.
Yeah.
Let's put up this hand too.
Yeah, and just like that amount of individual kind of introspection that you have to like your own little devices that you come up with is so cool. And just to play off what you were saying, Dan.
What about you, Benefin? What did you think about Chants?
Yeah, car.
Goldenspider, thank you for
oh my god, you walked in the frame.
So
That's perfect.
I thought it was a fun game.
I've never been
This whole thing. This is a Elgato Wave 3 mic that I won at TwitchCon in a rock paper scissors game. I got into the opponent's head. I said I'm going to throw a rock. I threw a rock. It was great. Anyways, I agree with the previous two that were talking about their thought. I did not realize that the description of the game says Tower of Babel. I was just like, oh, this is like Tower of Babel because there's a lot of towers in the game. But I thought it was an interesting puzzle game. The fact that they're different languages and having to not understand what any of the languages, the symbols meant up until you get the context. I thought it was a very interesting puzzle mechanic, and all in all, I thought the game was pretty fun. I think it was pretty swell. There were a few times where I got frustrated because I was like, the journal, when it shows you like a picture of what, and you had to figure out the symbol. And I'm over here like, I don't understand the context of this. What is this? Explain to me.
Yeah.
A lot of symbols where I was like, what am I supposed to do with this in context of what you're giving me? Especially like some of them were objects or whatever, and it was like great, but then there's stuff that weren't, and I'm like, what? but I think it was a pretty swell puzzle game with a nice experience, and it was very interesting.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that as well. There were definitely, because I really kind of quickly realized that the pages wouldn't really pop up in your notebook until, like, the page popping up basically said, you have the word and you should have the context to know what this word is. But at times there's like, I don't know what that symbol is. I don't know what that picture in the notebook is. What are you trying to show me here? And that was definitely a bit annoying.
The classic struggle of a parser game, like this is a wonderful like meet in the middle kind of concept of a parser. It's almost closer to like an inform game, if anything. it feels like, because there's so many words that you can put in, and I love that aspect of this game where you're, like you were saying, Anthro, that you can like put down your own shorthand, or just like what is the journey that you take to get there. Are you using, like whatever kind of word? Like I would leave something as completely the wrong word guess for so long because it's like a phone number that you've seen pop up on your phone 1,000 times. You're like, oh, that's my coworker. You never save the number. You just know that that's who that is because you recognize the number so well now. And it felt like that. And I would see like the wrong words in my own thing, and then it would come together and just,
or you leave a word, the wrong word on the symbol, but you're like, I know that this word is here somewhere. So let's just save it. It's like pre-typing a Wordle answer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, or God forbid you forget to put words in, and then you're like, oh, there's like 9 symbols that I just don't have anything in here for. I just figured I would remember.
Yeah, that was the other very, very cool thing.
Thanks for that. Thanks.
What even is that?
Why do we have a lower third? What is happening?
I don't know anyone.
Silly Skeletor? No?
No.
What? No, we did Skeletor earlier.
What in the world?
Yeah, there's also like a few times where I would encounter symbols, but there was no context of, like, I would just walk up to someone, talk to them. I get 7 different symbols, and I'm like, what do any of these mean in the context of why I just talked to you?
Hey, welcome to learning a language.
Yeah.
Like one of the easiest references we can make here is if anybody's ever played No Man's Sky, a big part of that is learning the language of the people of each of the races that you meet. And it's to me it's a very close comparison to be like, I'm talking to the Gek, all I got out of that was trade. Right. I mean, it's very easy, of course. It's very easy to. There's no more real puzzle aspect to it. But when you're trying to again, just get the context, get the right words, and then you can kind of figure it out. And I mean, if you study language, it's very similar. Of just understanding. French or just English or whatever, you get the sentence structure down, or once you figure out the direct object of a sentence or whatever, you're like, okay, it's this.
Oh, I have a question I want to ask you when we get to spoilers. I can't wait. Oh my God.
Yeah, going back to the whole everybody has their own shorthand, everybody takes the notes in their own way. I thought it was definitely a very nice touch that you did not need to have. All that mattered is you put the symbol in the right spot in the notebook. It didn't matter what you wrote in for the symbol. So you could be you could completely misinterpret what the image was, but you still got it right because you're like, oh, this image is somebody saying hello, but it's actually someone screaming in fear, but I still know that symbol is that that image.
Open mouth.
And it was also neat that it'll put the correct word for that symbol once you get it in the right picture on the journal. I thought that was nice. Because there are some words I did not have correct, and it put the correct one, and I was like, oh.
Oh man. Yeah. Just, God, this game is so cool. The way it just makes your brain light up, and it being that half parser, half not, where you're getting to be so creative and then rewarded for your creativity, but not punished for your lack of deduction skills or something. It was a very, you get, but you don't lose in this game to me. At least it felt like that. Man. The things that would make you come back around to use the map again, which half the time was just me being like, I have no idea when I learned that word. But just the little stories that would pull you in different ways, and then how they even brought that feeling back tenfold at the end of the game. Just love the layers of this game.
Yeah, it's I definitely can see why this game was nominated and has been so well spoken of. I just wanted to I just think it was it's not the direction that you would really think of, but the fact that the game starts with you learning open, close, and door, just
Yeah.
you would not think those would be the first 3 words you need to learn a language, but in this context, it just made sense.
Especially in this kind of setup, like you start out in a very, I don't want to call it primitive, but it's a very what's it called, like not technologically advanced society. So there's not a lot of the puzzle solving as far as, hey, open the door, is pretty easy, right? Because physical doors, no real, like once you get, I mean, I don't want to say spoilers, but you know, as you go up in floors, the stuff gets more advanced.
Oh, it definitely, yes.
So where, you know, once you're having to like do cranks and circuits or whatever else, and like I think the science room, I'm really struggling remembering this because it's been a while.
Alchemist.
Yeah, you know, just all the different little like as the puzzles get more complex, right? So does the language and stuff, and it's just I really want to watch a linguist play this, because you know, having someone that is like I mean, obviously they had to have somebody on staff that was a, you know, expert in language.
Oh yeah,
I need to look up their credits because. But anyway, sorry.
I can't imagine that you would be able to make a game to this, like realized vision without somebody like an anthropologist or a linguist or somebody that knows what they are talking about, for sure.
I don't remember if I saw anyone that was a linguist specifically, but in 2024, the first year that I volunteered for Games for Change, the festival I work at every summer now, they nominated Chants of Sennaar for best gameplay. And so at Games for Change every year, there's the award show, there's a bunch of really cool workshops and networking, but we also do a giant arcade. And so there will just be like stations set up with every form of a tablet, a phone, and then also like actual arcade machines, and then an entire row of monitors set up with PCs. And then we set up a couple of Big Daddy consoles. We have a couple of PlayStations and Xboxes that go into an area with cozy seating and rugs, plants, things like that. And it just blew my mind that first year. Oh, and then rooms for VR. But in that little cozy space with the consoles, we had Chants of Sennaar running. And so it's always really beautiful getting to see people play games with each other in the arcade, and getting to see the game devs walking around and watching people play their games, and just seeing how people go about it. But it was so special with Chants because it was the only time in the last, so this will be my 3rd year, but in the last 2 years, Chants was easily the game that had the biggest crowd that developed by the end of it, because everyone came over and they were like helping each other, but also making sure that, you know, they weren't overpowering whoever was in the driver's seat of like picking it. It was just kind of like talking through it and literally parsing together, which was just so cool to see. And like having so many little aha moments in one little section was really beautiful to watch. Yeah, being able to see that at the Impact Festival was super, super cool. If I remember correctly, it won, but I don't remember.
So just to clarify, because I know what you're talking about, and I just make sure that everyone else knows what you're talking about. When you say a parsing game, what do you mean?
So a parser game is kind of like the other side of early game dev styles. So there was an actual game called Parser, and the idea is that you're inputting information and then the game confirms what it's supposed to do with that input. So as opposed to a more structured and laid out path like you would see in a choose your own adventure style of game, which is very similar to like the RPG branching narratives, or just the choose your own adventure books from when we were kids. You have games that are like that, and then the other version is a parser. So instead of selecting something that's in front of you, you have to tell the game itself what to do with it.
So like Zork.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like
Zork
the old text-based adventures, or Scribblenauts is another one. There's another game, and I cannot remember what it's called. That's fairly
I remember
recent.
There was a really good scary phone one at one point too.
I mean, you could call like all of the not all the you don't know Jack, but a lot of the new mini games from the Jackbox are very, I mean that's just that's. I don't know if that can be considered parser because it's more like the game isn't figuring out what to do with them. It's the people that are playing the game. So ignore that.
That's true. But you're still tapping into something that you see with board games as well, where it's this like, how do you get from point A to point B? And that's ultimately just that difference that we're kind of talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really beautiful watching a group of people, like a bunch of people who are, game devs, game nerds. But it was also like students, because people at this school that we were putting this festival on in are allowed to like walk through, and there were professors from that school of art and design that would come down and talk about stuff. But yeah, nothing like getting to see an actual linguist play it. That would be so cool.
It's like just watching like that makes me really want to watch not necessarily like a individual play a game, but like a group play like something like Myst or Blueprints or those are the only two I can really think of that are really kind of like, well, I mean, watching a lot of people also play Outer Wilds has been kind of that same thing as a lot of that same gift. I really, I just, I'm going to keep bringing those up because Outer Wilds is my favorite game of all time. It's not a parser, of course, but the amount of like just the puzzling is, and again, in that game, one of the main mechanics is you're the first one to have a translator tool. So you're translating, and some of the words aren't always translatable. So you have to kind of, it's weird. Let's just put it that way. You eventually get to in the DLC, you get to a point where it's just like the translator tool doesn't work anymore. So now you just got to figure the symbols out.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
I can't
awesome.
wait to play it one day. It never leaves my PlayStation.
One day.
Yeah, getting to see experts play their games, last of the sidebars, but Pandemic, I think is the name of it, is a board game that has to do with diseases spreading. And then, of course, we know Monopoly with real estate, and getting to watch, like working at a board game cafe and getting to watch people who are like experts in real estate or, hey, let's go, Pandemic. Getting to watch people that were... they were biologists and nurses that were all friends, and they were playing Pandemic and like absolutely treating it like it was real life. And it was, I don't know, it's just different when the games that are familiar with your life that you get to play with. I don't know. It's just so good.
Any of that cross, that like, what am I saying? I keep trying to say cross something like cross, not stitching, not dressing, not cross, like wires crossing, not cross-cultural, cross-exposure, help.
Cross-contamination. No,
that's sure, why not? But the anything that whenever your interests collide, cross interests, let's say, or something, because that's where of course I'm drawing a lot of my stuff from my study and just my love of ancient things that are either unexplained or just finding the answers to stuff like that. And just with the what was his name, the journeyman, the journeyer, the traveler, close enough. Thanks, Destiny. Of course, it's called the Traveler.
The main character in the game, the person you play as.
Yeah,
they're called the Messenger, according to the Wikipedia.
I knew it. Okay, so when you play, playing as them, I can very much put myself in the shoes as, on a dig or a study, and you're like, just, like we're watching the B-roll. Imagine finding that and being like, what is this? And then I love how good the game's journal is, like, being like, oh, it's this or this, and leaving it for later and stuff. It's like, okay, we know that's something we gotta come back to figure the rest out.
And
I just
It's also a slightly different vibe though, because you start the game, you're immediately faced with this dude that's trying to help you across these canals. You're like, hey, I open this door, then you open that door so I can cross, and then I'll open this door so you can cross. It kind of immediately breaks that initial like suspicion that you might have if you came across this first, of being like, oh, this isn't a dead civilization. I just don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Just watching the B-roll even, it's just so soothing. Like, you get the thing and then you observe and you just like, I don't know, for me, it was always that kind of like, let my eyes go soft and like, what am I seeing? It reminds me of reading tarot cards, where like so much about a tarot practice is looking at the imagery on the card and like, what is it saying to you? Or in the reverse of that, when you're like trying to say something to somebody, like telling the guy, I'll pull the lever now. And I don't know, just trying to, I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry.
No, yeah, and that is what this game does in such an amazing way, I feel, because it is all about, it's about the world more than it is about the puzzles that you are doing.
Yeah. Like all of the the puzzles are unearthing the world building, right? Like while you get like what we're seeing, like you get the picture, but because you don't already understand the stuff at the bottom. Once you do understand the stuff at the bottom, then it adds the context to the world building, and it's not like always explicit. It's more like it doesn't tell you, it shows you.
And to just like unearthing the world building, and so you're rewarded every time you learn something. And I think of the humor when you get to the third world. Without saying too much, there's some people that you listen to for a second, you're like, okay, I don't know any of those words, but it seems like they're talking about my clothing or something. Okay, so they're just saying I'm dressed different. I think that's what's happening. And later on you find out it's not necessarily it, but one of the words was like idiot. And you're like, oh, these people talk a little bit different up here. We're a little spicier. Okay. And then it's just so funny because like that word was not in the bottom floor's language at all. The one that we're looking at now, I was not prepared to see that word at all.
Yeah.
But different cultures, they have different ways of describing things.
What about you, Finn? You've been sitting quiet there, just seeing your eyes on top of your head over the over
I feel just getting lower and lower.
Yeah.
Oh, did we lose Panda?
Yeah, are you still with us?
I'm right here.
Oh, there.
Oh no, you are.
I'm just listening.
Yeah, just vibing. What do you?
Yeah.
Don't have anything to say.
No, I think you guys pretty much covered the same thought I had of like interesting how the languages were all different between all the people that we'll get to in the spoiler part, and just like essentially learning a new language and then learning other languages to help continue your path up the tower was a very interesting, thing of everything. Language is silly.
It's so true.
Yes.
The thing we have to tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
yes.
it's since we're on this specific point in the B-roll as well, I really love this specific segment that we are on right now, because we're learning so much about this language just through this very simple game. And it's like, the game is basically like, I flip a card over, and then I flipped over, I don't know, a priest, and they flipped a card over, and they flipped over an image of like obviously God, and then the person that flipped the God got a token. So like, okay, that's obviously God, and God is, God wins all, so God is above the priest, and it's very, very cool how they kind of, like, you're not just learning from set dressing. You're learning also from what you're doing, and it also speaks to very real, like, language, learning another language, because
It's also like subtle foreshadowing as well of like the different people you meet and what the languages you'll be learning of those people.
yeah,
Those cards is what I put together.
that
I'm
is
listening.
well, yeah, that is well. But it's also like when you, my thought on it was when you are learning another language, when you are really trying to learn another language. One thing that at least I have seen a lot of people recommend is like watch your favorite TV show with the subtitles in German. Or
Do you if they have one of the great things to do also is if it I was looking at this monitor like y'all over there. So one of the great things to do is that but also do the inverse is if it offers alternative like dub tracks, and then because you can read English faster, you can almost read faster than you can hear. Right, and especially if you already know what they're saying, like say you've already, one of my favorite things to do currently is any anime I watch, I'll watch like sub or dub first, and then I'll go back and watch the opposite because I like to see the differences both in like performance, but also I think that helps a little bit internalizing that language.
Totally.
And so it's really the problem is finding either dubs that are good enough or, if the dub is even offered.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, you just unlocked a core memory, or like a core range of memories, I guess, of being like 12 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old. And so I'm in my mid-30s, and that was when we were waiting for Kingdom Hearts 2 to come out, and me and my girlfriends would have like binge watch any content we could find on the internet, and almost always it was in Japanese. And so you're just watching the same little 10-second trailer, 2-minute trailer over and over and over again, and eventually you begin to learn whatever words were in there, because it's just like this game where you're like, okay, I know I heard Sora. Okay, so Sora, but that comes after, but they use this kind of inflection, and we know that tone means this, and like, oh my gosh, just how great. When you want to find the info out, you will find it out one way or another.
I mean, and just to kind of like get another tangent on there, like reading when waiting for manga to come out and waiting for someone to translate it, and it's always going to be the fans are going to translate it first, right? But it's like, what is that fan's voice, and are they translating it correctly? Because like that's how you get really funny differences, and just it's like the difference between having the official like Funimation translation of Dragon Ball and then going and watching DBZ abridged and being like, oh okay, which was the actual one? And it's like, well.
Yeah, it's like because we're kind of even though I swapped off the B-roll, we were just on this part of the B-roll is I was not expecting to have to learn multiple languages. I was going into this game. I was not expecting that the first time that I went to another level, and it opened up this whole other like tab of my notebook, and be like, okay, here's another one. Start again.
Right?
Yeah, I think I think the game did a great, or even like all the marketing material and stuff, does a great job of not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's not foreshadowed, but they do kind of hide it. It's like the map in Elden Ring that they lie to you. They're like, oh no, here's your language, and then you get to the next one, it's like, here's another, and you're like, oh, I have to. Nothing I learned already counts.
Oh, it's like that, huh? Yeah, nothing I learned already. Like, what did I just spend the last 3 hours doing, guys? Like,
Yeah.
So
And
funny.
and it just stares at you and is like, figure it out. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, at least I have the mechanisms in place to help to figure this out.
And until like I clearly remember I don't remember if it was the third floor or one of the other floors, but I distinctly remember having just gotten to a new floor, and then almost like instantly, like half of my notebook was filled with unknown glyphs. I was like, oh my gosh, everything right away.
Bards. That was bards, because I also remember that feeling of just, okay, so we did it before, so this is probably gonna be a new language, but it's fine. Like, I'm just gonna take really good notes. I'm on it this time. And then you have like one conversation, you're like, that's like 12 glyphs. Good. Okay. I haven't even made it out of the first section of this world, and I've already got, my half page of words. No idea what to do. That one was wild. Oof. Meatiest part of the game to me. Oh my god, should we get spoilers? Is it time?
Do we let me,
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
let me see.
What say you, oh wise wizard of the corner and car hood?
I said, let's spoil it up.
Well, we still had a couple of things that I thought we could touch before spoilers in our doc here.
Yeah, let's do it. What were you thinking?
So this was a pretty good one that I actually really liked when I put down. Did any of you ever fully start to like truly understand any of the languages, like without needing to like hover your mouse over the glyphs to like see the translation? Mm-hmm. And what was that like?
No. I struggle, and I identified this when I was trying to learn Japanese. I struggle with pictographic languages. Like they don't make sense in my brain. I no longer have the sponge brain of being 8. So like I cannot internalize it, and it's one of those like, well, I can see what it means, like of course through the translator and everything, but it's like, yeah, I know that one means warrior, but even with the simplicity of some of these, like they're not exactly complex in comparison to real life, like kanji or what's the other one? Katakana? Did I say that right?
Hiragana, katakana, and then
katakana, yeah. So for me personally, no, I did not. It did not get internalized with me at all. Like, I can imagine if I was like 12 and played this game, I would probably like get all these symbols, memorize them, and write them in a notebook and be like, look, it's a language to my friends.
Oh my gosh, I miss making up languages with people. Did anyone have a language with someone when they were a kid? It sounds like you did, Nick.
No, we didn't. Because I also grew up in a time where everybody wanted to talk like Will Smith, and it was like the cringiest stuff. But it was fun. Look, we had Clueless come out when we were young, and then Will Smith was the biggest movie star. He still is a huge movie star, but he was a big TV star that we all watched every day. Mm-hmm. And then he was like Men in Black, and it's like, oh, the goofy guy. And then he dropped like a non-cussing rap album, and we were everybody was talking like that. So I mean.
That's its own language in a sense. Like, I know that you were saying
we spoke Valley Girl in middle school, so I mean that just permeated everywhere else.
I was about to try and go into that voice, but I refused to do it. Put it down a long time ago. I love that though.
Dust it off like a bike.
What about?
I did meet some people in college that learned Elvish and wrote to each other in Elvish, and I was like, this is the first time I feel like I've ever been out nerded. That you know what? I think I'm better. I'm okay.
In high school, I knew someone.
Oh, sorry.
In high school, I knew someone who like had a secret language with their partner, and I just looked at it and I'm like, you nerds.
Oh, such nerds. That's good.
I could barely learn English. I took French and I took 1 year in French and 1 year in Japanese. If you were to ask me anything about those languages, I could not tell you. Like,
parlez français?
Comme c'est comme ça?
Okay, that's responsive to comment ça va.
Maintenant, s'il vous plaît.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
It's sexual. No, don't try to translate it.
Parlez-vous?
Listen, I don't remember much. There's a brief. I learned some French just for the joke of dressing as a Frenchman for Halloween, thanks to Claire Obscure Expedition 33. But like Japanese, one of the issues I had with the class was I could understand Romanji, which is just the English written version of what the characters are. But if you were to put hiragana or katakana in front of me, I could not tell you what the symbols were. I know some symbols. I know ku, I know ma, because if you put kuma, that's a bear. I remember that. Anything else, I can't tell you, man.
That's a good thought bubble. That was a good thought bubble.
That was a good one.
We know what he was talking about. No, we just saw your inner thoughts.
Yeah, but yeah, like these symbols. If I did not have the translation on it, I couldn't tell you what they were saying. They were speaking gibberish to me. You might as well be speaking Swahili.
Also, a really cool language that I do not know how to use my throat properly for at all.
What about you? What about you, Taylor? Did you ever start to internalize the language in the game at all?
I think all of them by the end of it. I've always been a language person, pre-amnesia and post-amnesia, so it's probably just like a muscle that I got to stretch again that used to be really strong. Like I babbled earlier, definitely have been one of those people who learned Elvish, among other languages, and made up some. Yeah, there was probably a couple times, even before knowing the word, where like I just knew kind of what they were trying to say, I guess, or like maybe I just guessed really well. I'm not sure. But those were some like extra magical moments too, of just like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And then like go to see the word later in the journal, and like, oh, I haven't put that into a slot yet. But like we know those words. I don't know, it was a really cool feeling, especially too when I did the ending, which involves reading through all the languages multiple times, pretty back to back. I don't think I used my journal for any of it, just kind of like went straight through, which was pretty cool. I don't know. It felt awesome.
Gamer over here.
Right?
I like symbols, shiny.
Well, I definitely never did either. I moused over those little thought bubbles every time.
Yep.
What about you, Panda?
No, I had to use my journal to figure out what the symbols were. I was like, I could not understand anything. But if there was a mode where they were like, hey, you better memorize these symbols, I would not have finished the game. I would just put it down and like, all right, that's enough out of it.
Like rapid fire.
Yeah, I had to. If I did not know what the symbol was when they said it to me, I was like, I don't know context. Man, what? Man door? What about the door?
Or Mandor. That's Mindor.
Yeah, Mandor.
And
Mandalorians.
And then,
I do want to shout out in the chat. Big Slice Gaming was talking about how they had a similar experience that I did with being able to kind of understand innately, at least at a certain point, and they referenced their experience with sheet music, reading sheet music as a musician for years, and I can see that translating.
Oh my god,
what do you
that is, Big Slice. Thank you. That resonates like crazy because I've been playing guitar for 25 years. I learned how to read music as a French horn player in middle school, and once I stopped, it's gone. And so like I have a keyboard and a old electric organ that I can noodle on through ear, but as far as reading the music and be like, middle C is here, D is here. And I'm like, like
having to do hunt and pick with the keyboard, kind of a similar feeling.
And it's like, dude, I wish that, reading music is Thanks for the shout out, Jesus. He's not
I
wrong.
love that yours is he has a Buster sword so metal. It's a really good shout out.
Alrighty. Well, is there anything else we want to touch on in the non-spoiler zone before we enter the spoiler zone?
Biggest thing is just if you haven't played this game, we haven't really spoiled anything. Like if any, like we kind of have, of course, like the mechanic to a degree, but your own deduction, your own translation will feel so good. And this game is so human in such a good way. Play this game. It's never too old. You play it in 20 years, it'll still be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I would just agree with that. It is a timeless video game design and everything in art and gameplay mechanics.
Timeless.
Yeah, and I just wanted to like go surface level real quick over it. Like, yeah, style, period. Like any type of, I don't know, it's not cartoon, but this type of animation, almost cell shade, almost. It's not quite. I'm drawing a blank on it now. There was like a I'll figure it out later. I'll interject at the most inopportune moment. But like the style, impeccable. Like you said, timeless. Music on point, great. Not in your face, very subtle, very emotive, very like
very ambient as well. There wasn't like I never heard a lot of music. I just heard like birds chirping and like streaming and
sound design. Sound design here was awesome. I mean, it's not necessarily like uber contextual as like an unpacking is, but like it just the world building through both the unique visual aesthetic and the sound design and music were great. I don't know if I'll ever necessarily listen to it outside of like maybe to go to sleep to or like study to, but it's not like I'm looking for the bangers or anything out of the Chants Sennaar soundtrack. But I just wanted to cover those real quick about those. So
Yeah, thank you for that.
What about you, Panafin? Any last thought before we go into spoilers?
No, put me in the spoiler zone. I'm ready.
Alrighty, well let's enter the spoiler zone.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
So my only thoughts, really, I'm no puzzle poppy. I can go through puzzles no problem, but like it's not like my forte that I do. But some of the puzzles in the very beginning, I just could not understand, and I was like, "What am I supposed to do?" Like the big thing I couldn't really understand was the church and the 4 different areas you can go to, the pillars, where you could rotate and it would have the words. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. And then when I finally figured it out,
have the tool. You had to slot the thing in, and man, I know I struggled with that cemetery where it was just like, what am I doing here? I should be able to brute force this at this point. Like, oh no, I actually have to come back like so much later. Yeah, that one gave you trouble.
Yeah, so it was a lot of that of like being like, I'm just gonna leave this alone and just come back when I can get more like context clues of anything. But I'm sure you guys would have more to say about the game than I, since you guys are a bunch of language nerds. But I thought it was a fun game with an interesting story, with interesting language stuff and puzzles. Some of them were quite enjoyable, some were not. And just figuring things out through the context of not knowing what languages are, pretty interesting. And it was similar in the sense of like, or not Journey, Brothers, where there's no language really to learn, but the context of how people talk can help you paint a picture of what is going on in this story and the environment.
It's so true.
You just reminded me. You just triggered a. So 2 things. First, the game I was trying to think of is Sable, and then the I mean, it's very stylish, but anyways, and then the second, but the other thing I was going to say is, you just triggered my thinking of playing, was it Planet of Lana? Because like again, there's no language there. It's basically you just being like your little character. I can't remember their name. It's like yeah, or nah, or like it's vocalizations that have no real context outside of what the action is showing them doing. But those tangents aside, I honestly kind of struggle to remember what exactly I remember. I get bits and pieces of watching the B-roll and I watched a bunch of the trailers and everything to try and get myself back in the mind of it without actually touching it. And I can't. It's while I very much enjoyed the game, the moment to moment, I can't say that it left a indelible lasting mark on me. It's definitely up there as a very good game, and I definitely enjoyed it, and I would go back if they ever added anything, or if they made a chance to Sennaar 2, I'll be there day one. But as far as leaving a lasting impression, it's no, it was good. I liked it. Solid. When we said the open critic was 85, yeah, that sounds right. B plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
is
be
exactly where it belongs. I don't know how to spoil this game. It's because it's so puzzle oriented, and it's trying to to spoil it is kind of what is your interpretation of what the ending cutscene, what it all led to, or some of the other things that you end up doing, with the is it the fourth area where you actually have to start hiding from things, or
I mean, you could
leading.
stealth, I feel in the first tower, even, or in the first level of the tower. But yeah, I was going to ask Panda how, specifically Panda, you felt about all the stealth in the game. I felt so surprised.
That surprised me.
I thought it was
Yeah,
really chill.
Yeah.
The beginning, and then oh my god, when you're doing the ending quest to get the real ending, and I was not ready for that. I was yeah, we're doing such fast translation. We're just gonna go from bop 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 one room to the other. I'm gonna use this key. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, these zappy robot guys come out of nowhere, and you just have to stealth around in these really what feel complex, because I'm trying to go so fast and I can't, because now I have to slow down and stealth through it. And
yeah, the ending was
not
definitely the ending was definitely an interesting one that I wasn't really expecting. But I felt it was good to kind of Anthrometal's earlier point. It's something that I've kind of thought on a little bit since finishing this game as well. Is I would really be interested if they did a direct sequel to this game in many ways, make it maybe a bit less glyph language and more an auditory kind of language experience, but also just to see how all these societies are now will change after we have reconnected them. Because after going through all of the other floors, when I got back to the first floor to do their connection puzzles and do their door and whatnot, I was oh my gosh, these guys don't have a word for plural. These guys are just saying brother brother and man and fish fish. Mm-hmm. And how obviously logically they meeting all of these languages are going to mix and mingle, and in 100 years or so that language will have a word for plural. And I just think that that's so cool too, if they explored a little bit more in that facet.
Going on that. Sorry.
That was it.
I was gonna say, in that same vein, you can see in this game how the division of the floors really impacted them. Like you said, if we were to come across them and the floors were actually all open, right, they were actually freely to travel and share language, you would have seen that cross. I keep going back to this because my brain is broken. You would go back to that sharing of info, right? of how language evolves, like, is through that that shared application of knowledge. English is a Germanic and French language, like base German, and then stole half of French and was like, good, there it is. And you can just only imagine, like, if, you know, Bottom Floor was able to talk to any of the other ones, like, they may have end up having those words.
Well, yeah.
So, like, seeing the division is kind of like, I think, plays into that. But like you said, I would, because I'm the way I am, I would love to come to a place that's actually completely ruined, like is not alive at all, and have to do it with zero other kind of context of just trying to really figure out from base, like, how to apply it to yourself. I just have no idea how to design something like that.
Yeah, and
Brings
it's
it
like, and what you said is like, you also do see it in a couple of those like end of the game like connection pieces. Is like there were two that I can really think of off of what you said bring to mind, and there was one where like one of the bards was talking to one of the warriors, and the bard was like, I don't like making music. And the warrior was like, well, just come down here. You can come down here. You don't have to do that. You can be whoever you want to. And then there was another one between the warriors and the devotees, where the warrior was like, the devotees are faithless, or the devotees are demons because you don't make music. And then the devotees were like, no, we love music.
Yeah, we make music.
And like you can in that interaction, you can actively see like the perceptions of each other shifting, and that was so amazing to me.
Yeah, and then when they're all like hanging out on each other's floors, and like the bards that you meet that are like, yeah, we love music and instruments. Do you have an instrument? And you just have to be kind of like, no. And then later on, when you get them all connected and you walk back through and you're like, oh, look at the devotees over here, like singing for them with their instruments. And there's these warriors that are just like dancing off in the other room. And like, oh, it was so cool watching it all like blossom like that, and getting to see the beginnings of what will turn into those future generations and those future peoples. And like, I love the idea of a direct sequel being, what does happen with the people of the tower? Do we get to see their combos later on and something like that? I don't know. That'd be so cool.
I can ideate all day on what that would end up looking like, because like,
right?
You talk about the evolution of language just from like, oh, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna learn you something good now. So like, think of like just in the last 1,000 years, for English, we went from Old English, which was a Germanic tribal language, to the Norman Conquest in 1066, which is to Middle English, where Middle English took over and took all the French stuff and started sounding a lot more like what we talk now, to modern English. And even just within that, modern English, if we want to talk like dialects across the world, where it's like, oh, well, Britain already has regional dialects. Same with the States. Like you can't come and say like, oh yeah, what you speak is Creole is not this. I mean, I know Creole has its own languages and stuff, so I'm not trying to substitute that. But like language that you talk in those different regions, just in like the States, is so diverse. So imagining what, let's ideate here, or I'm going to play I'm playing the ideation game now. Let's say that all of them are equal now. All of them talk to each other. They evolve into one unified language. Mm-hmm. What does that look like in 100, 200, 500, 1,000 years, or whatever, whatever the passage of time is. And that's just such a cool, like you were saying, Spider, like it could be like a direct sequel could have so many like outlying things.
And when,
I know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited for a game that doesn't exist.
And that also kind of like touches on something that I personally is like, a little bit fascinated. I am fascinated with anthropology as well. I think it is so fascinating and interesting. I did not go into it because I am not smart enough to go into it, and segue with a lot of many things. But I'm so interested in something that I have kind of been seeing take place throughout our lifetimes, and that is that the globalization that we have now because of the internet is leading to a lot of very interesting kind of like language swapping and cohesion and melding that we have never seen before. Like I have phrases I use phrases from, Deep South. I use y'all. And I use y'all. I sometimes throw in, smatterings of like bonjour or danke schön from German, and it's just so interesting to me that it's like I wonder it won't happen because there is always going to be like languagical drift, but I just wonder if like in 500 years or so if we will just have like one globalized language and a lot of other things are just kind of like their own country dialects.
Yeah, like have global language and then have regional language kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So like, living in South Texas, it's not I'm not 100% on speaking Spanish, but I can very much like, there's a lot of what, people would call Spanglish, where it's just like, like my God, I am so like brain rotted. Un más cerveza, por favor. Like one more beer, please. Is what a lot of people learn, but a lot of gringos will learn that, even though I am one. Pero pinche Spurs way. Like, what? I heard a garage talking to me.
Typical gringo, dude. Listen, 500 years from now, California, we're still gonna be saying hella. I didn't even know that was from California.
Yeah, well, like the point what I made earlier, like Valley Girls speak, that didn't become widely spoken until Clueless, and it's it is one moment of everybody going and starting to use the word like in everything.
And it's still so pervasive.
Yeah. Well, it's part of everybody's lexicon now. Like you'll have those regional things that kind of push out and do that. And yeah, I think there has to be, oh my God, now I'm like ideating on what would take to get like a global language. As long as it's not racist, I mean, it's going to take a while, but yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and then that's just like there's also a very like fascinating language thing. Another very fascinating language thing happening in our lifetime, or more specifically in I think all of our direct lifetime, is I think there is a growing kind of awareness and like I'm not really in those spaces, so I don't know for sure, but it would not surprise me if there was a growing debate in kind of anthropological fields. Are memes a language? Like that sounds silly to say, but
I can drop a podcast about emojis.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, you can absolutely consider that. Like, think of, geez, like, remember there was a time, like I won't even say smartphones, just like when phones got cameras, where you would put on and you could transfer stuff from your computer, and you would transfer like your favorite memes, right? And it wasn't even like saved; they would exist in your downloads folder. And it was stuff like I just remember doing that and being like, and then later going back once like multiple transfers later, like, why do I have this? But thinking about like the digital, like, because digital archaeology is a thing and it is starting to come up, you know, with there's so much lost media out there. But thinking about like, yeah, lolcats are something that is now kind of like lost to time outside of random gifts. There's, you know, the perpetual like preservation of information, at least on the internet, that kind of keeps things in context. But yeah, just wondering like, hey, in 100 years, is an archaeologist going to pick up I can has cheeseburger and like, so this actually like, is there going to be an academic study on that?
Yeah.
Probably would agree.
Now I want a mod for Chants of Sennaar to be all stupid memes.
Dude, but really though, that'd be so good.
Somebody.
That would be great.
Oh yeah, memes are definitely a language. I'm so sorry I cut you off earlier. Spider just got so excited. Because yeah, there's this podcast. There were these two linguists discuss emojis being a new language and why that is and what that means. And it's actually so two things from the chat that even brings into the at one point in the emoji podcast, one of the linguist guys is talking about how like and the power of the Valley Girl language, how that word became a filler word and that word became a new mechanic that people were able to use to say like, oh, this is like this. And then that shortens down your way of being like, so this is like this. And I know this thing is like this. And I see a correlation between the two. And there's so many nuances to how you can utilize that, which I think is so cool. And that's all due to the power of, that shared media, like the power of movies and everyone watching the same ones, but using your own languages, but then knowing like, oh, yes, water bottle. I don't know, like a random word that everyone uses in Friends over and over again. And so many people use that TV show to learn the language.
And it's like, we have, I don't know, it's how to put this. Is like this is one of the weird things that Star Trek kind of predicted in a way.
Yep.
There's a famous Next Generation episode of where Picard crashes on a planet and finds one other kind of survivor of another alien like spaceship crash, but their language is entirely in cultural references. And the famous one is Darmak and Jahad at Tanagra. And Picard is like, what the heck are you saying? That makes no sense. But we are already kind of like, that is a meme.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I love that.
God. You reminded me, like, and I brought it up, like, if you don't know, in the Neon Pocket Dimension Discord, we have a anime manga. I think we also have a books channel, and I had started reading the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and it has one of my things that is a pet peeve of mine that is fine with Dungeon Crawler Carl, but is worse in Ready Player One, is that I don't mind cultural touchstones. I just don't need specific cultural touchstones. Like, please don't reference Twitch in your stuff because you're immediately, while I understand why, I find the writing to be a little lazy. Like, you can easily say that in a different way of like, you know, a live streaming service or a service where you got to watch your favorite people or something. Panda got lit up for a second there. Oh, never mind. There he is again.
I
you know, just having the cultural touchstones be, I don't know where this came in. You know what? The train is gone. So somebody save me.
Oh, I got you.
That is funny that you bring up Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's funny that you bring up.
Oh, we're talking about memes, yeah. So like the language of memes. There are college classes on this. I'm sure of it now.
It's gotta be.
If not already, then probably, definitely, like in our lifetime. Like the internet has changed. Like we're getting vastly off topic of it, but the internet has changed so vastly in such a little time. Like I would not be surprised if there were already like like digital archaeology courses of like early internet culture.
Oh,
my
actually,
God.
do you guys remember the game
no.
Emily's Away, and then Desktop Explorer is about to come out, as well as the one about Lily? Have you guys seen those that kind of emulate old AOL Instant Messenger or old Desktop Explorer? And oh my God, watching it is this feels so cool. This feels so cool, but
Let
it's
me
because
tell you about.
just outside of it being modern because the internet looks so different now. We can have a Internet Explorer video game that it almost encroaches and does that feeling that you're talking about, Anthro, but like it's just far enough removed. It's not as far removed as like the 60s or the 30s, but it's, I don't know, it's something.
Hey, listen, we all can watch Back to the Future and understand what the life in the 50s was like and life in the 80s was like. So they're not that far away, damn it. I just thought of so you're mentioning like, through AIM or Yahoo Instant Messenger, stuff that like relics that are honestly lost to time now. Like WhatsApp, I think, is the closest kind of thing, and that's just a third-party text messaging app now. Maybe Apple Message, but you're reminding me of so it's not really a spoiler per se because they advertised it, but in Warframe 1999, one of the big expansions that came out a few years ago, they have a whole like dating sim that is baked into a AIM clone. And anybody that was alive during those years of like early AIM internet, it was awesome. Like I wouldn't say awesome. It was crazy. Like it just, and it feels so well, like it fits so well in that and gives you that hint of like, we're learning something new and everybody's learning it together. And it's just a translation of language that is, and through that, and as well, texting at the time, because texting was paid by per character, is where the shorthands of LOL, LMAO, LMFAO, like all of those came from. Like that's what they came from. And seeing it now, and like now it's just part of the amount of whiplash I had when the first person that talked to me with Twitch emotes, where they out loud said poggers, threw me so far for a loop. But that is what it is. Like, I think I have a friend that got the license plate and the vanity license plate in Texas that says GG's in chat or something like that.
Great.
But yeah, just thinking about that, like all of the shorthand there, the language is so evolving all of the time. The word from like, I think it was it last year, word of the year was enshittification. Like before it has been like, blog has been one, or vlog has been another in there. Like these words are constantly being added to not only the English dictionary, but every dictionary. And it's like, it's just so cool to watch it happen in real time. And to Dan's point, and I'm sure I'm just going to spout out everybody, and to Panda and Pasta's point, because I can't remember who actually made this point, that we're witnessing this evolution because of the internet and the globalization in real time. I think that was Spider. So never mind. You other two, fuck you. Like, you don't get any credit. And just that, seeing that but in the same vein, we are seeing attempts to pull back from globalization. It's like, no, just let it happen.
Yeah, like, for real.
Because like the sharing of info is so awesome. Like, awesome. Like,
Oh
yeah, truly.
And my rant is done. I don't. Sorry, my tangents are done.
No.
So going off of the whole AOL Instant Messenger stuff, every time I hear people talk about like using AIM and stuff, I don't have any context to it because I was a child when I used AOL. Still use my AOL email. I was like 5 or 6 when I had my AOL account. So like, and I didn't talk to people. I didn't get very
Good for you.
PC technically advocate until I was in high school. From elementary school, middle school, and then to maybe junior year of high school, I just go outside. I like
Yeah.
never really. I played toys and go outside.
I am
Like
I'm,
YouTube when I was in 5th grade came out. I thought YouTube was like something for like adults or teens, so I would like sneak on it. I didn't really I didn't know exactly what it was. Like, yeah,
I'm done.
yeah. If anything, if you want context of how old I am, I turned 30 last
don't
week.
need it.
1996,
Okay.
baby.
I'm not terribly older than you then.
yeah. I'm actually I'm at around the same age. I'm 29, 97. But I also don't have that cultural touchstone to AOL, but I do have it to Skype and to Facebook Instant Messenger. So, which are definitely kind of like very
we're old.
analogous.
It's rough.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
My bones are
Now
dust.
I am going to close all these gaps real quick. You brought up Dungeon Crawler Carl. That's funny because a coworker of mine really wants me to read it. I have a backlog. I have to read about a book about gun safety to my cats, teaching your cats about gun safety. But also, I was at the farmer's market today and saw that there's a graphic novel of Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I was going to pick it up, but I have all this stuff. I can't see. You're in my car right now. And then the third thing also wanted me to bring up about the stealth mechanics of the game. And I think the stealth was very interesting. I do think it would have been better if it wasn't a point and click game and rather I can actually move. Because there were some points where I'm clicking somewhere and I did not move. And I was like, I don't like this. I need to move faster than that. And that's it. All my circles are closed. You guys can go back to talking about the game in languages, you nerds.
Did you ever just plug in the controller?
Yeah.
No, I was mousing keyboard only.
Okay.
I mean,
I did
to be fair, you know,
for 0.5 seconds, and that was kind of nice. But I really love the point and click aspect of it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm, you know, the console kid, so I obviously played this on controller, and again, the only downside is having to use the on-screen keyboard, which, I mean, I've used it long enough that it's second nature now, but I can definitely see how that can cause somebody to not want to do anything with it, or want to, you know. I mean, hey, if that's the case, just plug a keyboard into your console of choice, because everything but Nintendo lets you do it.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that that we kind of touched on lightly earlier that I do want to circle back to. Is from one is I believe a Big Slice Gaming in the chat a little bit ago said that this game had a lot to say about how terrible class separation is for society, and I definitely that is definitely a very, very true and interesting point, because like all of these levels, all of these levels in this tower are microcosms of society. They're like priests, they're the warriors, they're the bards, they're the scientists, and like I said before, with some things that are revealed in the final like connection puzzles, is the bards say, if you don't like making art, if you like using tools and getting your hands dirty, you're an idiot. Like that is literally like part of their belief and part of their culture. And like, but that you can't have a society like that. A society needs people to fix shit. It needs people to think of like scientific things. It needs people to defend. It needs people to like cook and make food and stuff.
Yeah, so, and that's why you put those people at the bottom, right? Like, or at the back of the train.
so that it
Big
winds up.
Slice Gaming, I think you need to drop 5 gifted subs in chat for making. I'm trying to play games and not think about life. How dare you put my life into a game? So 5 gifted subs in chat, please.
Yeah, realism
why-
tax.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
you
then
guys,
why'd you make it? Why did you make us play Snowpiercer the game?
You know what?
I'm gonna.
10 more and I'll jump to
It's
4.
such a stretch.
I took it off my list, so I'm gonna reveal it now. But for a second, I was genuinely considering putting Democracy 3 on my list of games to have it play.
That's like asking everyone to play Secret Hitler at board game night. Like we can, but this might go somewhere weird. Oh yeah,
We might
got some-
find some stuff out about ourselves.
I know, right? Actually, low key, Secret Hitler is a very fun game, but there are many
Oh,
other
it is. It is
bluffing games.
fantastic.
It is, yeah.
So going to the board game talk now, let me stand up for this. All you
yeah.
people, if you're settlers of Catan and Risk, I've never played those games. My board games consist of, I got Bloodborne, the board game. I got Here to Slay. I got Arkham Horror. I got the Path of Ashardalon, which is a Dungeons and Dragons build your dungeon thing. I don't. All these other games I don't play. They're not appealing to me. I'll play Monopoly though, and I'll try to lose on purpose, and I end up winning because why not?
Because we all
Which is
win.
the story.
don't-
I tried to.
So
I mean, if we,
Monopoly.
I'm going to stop us here because if we stop talking about board games, we're going to be here for like another 2 hours. I have such a large connection that I have it across like 3 bookshelves, and I'm also like I'm also creating my own board game.
This one alone, we're talking about language, just code names, like
yeah.
and trying to figure it out.
And yeah, because
I'm
like
back on
language
track.
is our closest thing that we have to telepathy. That's why we developed it. Was I just want to be able to put this thought into your brain. You're trying to do that with each other. And Codenames is that hilarious game of you're attempting to get someone to think of something but not quite say it. But you're also like, how do you think? And I love that when you
all of
like
our
first meet somebody and you don't know how the other person communicates yet, and that's that feeling that you get at each of these terminals in the game too, where we just saw some for a little bit on the B-roll where you're trying to get the people with their different languages to you translate their conversations so they can help each other. Like in the beginning where the preacher wants to fix the plants. He's like, I don't know what the plants are doing. They're dying. And eventually you wind up getting the help from the alchemist. And he's like, I got you. I'll make a potion. You're like, oh, that's so good. But like beforehand, their languages, they looked completely different. They couldn't understand each other. And when you first meet somebody and you've never talked together, it's crunchy. The way that you're trying to, like, what kind of
Feel
rhythm
people
do you
out, yeah.
use with your grammar? And I just love it so much. And eventually it smooths out. But
spoiler alert. The potion that they invented, that was Brondo. It's got what plants crave.
what's Brondo?
Oh my god!
I'm gonna send him off on a mission. No, stay here.
But no, I definitely I agree with what you are saying. And I do also going back to I don't have B-roll of the end portal puzzles because I finished it Sunday after our very long day of reacting to literally everything at SGF. So I did not want to stream. So I do not have B-roll of my final couple hours of the game, but it's very interesting because what you really are doing in those connection puzzles is they say something and you're like talking to this other person and saying, hey, this is what this guy's saying. You're being an interpreter basically to like start this like connection between these two peoples. And I really thought that was very cool. And I also really love how they went about doing those connections because let's be real, our world is in a shitty place. Like if we actually did something like this right now, we'd be like, no, why the fuck would I help you? I have my own things to worry about. But they didn't do that. They were like, no,
Yeah.
you guys are having trouble? Fuck yeah, we're there. We'll aid you. We're bros. And that's
I love the concept too that they were like the ones who were at the top, the ones who were gaming the black and white screens. God, I thought we were about to go into a horror game when you get to the top of tower. But when you're up there, and then when you finally do the wrap all the way back around, you connect all the doors, and then you get up and you have to go through the new sets of doors inside the like head gamer of each level kind of a thing, and you have to do the little stealth mission, put in the last like exile like code, and when you get back out, they're like, hey, now we'll help our people. We'll help the people of the tower. My people will help the people of the tower. And it's beforehand though, they were like scared too. They didn't, because I can't remember exactly what the story was, but it was something about how they ostracized themselves because they couldn't communicate, they couldn't connect anymore, and so they became fearful. And over time, that's just what they were told to do. Exile, I think, was actually the one like kind of convincing them, like, no, they're bad. You want to stay away from them, keep them out, keep them blocked through those doors. And that's the world we live in now, where we're constantly being separated from each other, whether it's class separation or crazy border lines or whatnot. Like, that's why we don't have a global language yet, no matter how much we've tried to make Latin or English or German, technically. And it's just so crazy. Like, this game encapsulated that feeling so well of, this is what it could be. This is where we are now, but this is what it could begin to be if we would just listen to each other, help each other, share our media, share our stories.
I just remember. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't make your.
Oh, that was it.
Okay. I was like, I just recall. So in Blade Runner, right? They have something called, I think they call it like the street language. And when they were putting the movie together, they wanted it to be a combination of several languages, basically all the different like ethnic boroughs of LA or of New York or wherever, basically spent enough time together that they all merge into one. So you had a mixture of like Korean, Chinese, Spanish, and Filipino, and you know, I had all of these things that all had different spots and mixtures, and it just it's such a cyberpunk, like, as a genre theme of having your lower class, like the, you know, people at the bottom of the towers, speaking a language that was completely like comprehensive but still unique to their class. Very much like the surf language of the peasants or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we only have a couple more things that I specifically wanted to touch on. I would just say the last thing I really kind of wanted to shout out with that last language. I love that because none of the people would talk to you because they were so busy gaming, which I thought was definitely going to become a like, gaming is bad, don't spend all your time in games kind of message, which I'm glad that they didn't, because, you know, we're all gaming nerds. But
Hang on, I'm gaming right now.
But I love the fact that the way you learned that language is you went to those little golden terminals that had like your little circular puzzle that like,
lock mechanism.
Yeah, the little like circle puzzles that like, okay, this word you know means door, this word you know means door, so you have to try to like align them perfectly, and when you do, it's like, oh yeah, because you know this word from that language is door, and this word from that language is door. That means that glyph means door. And I thought that was a very fun way to do that final language. It was very unique.
Yeah, it expedited it, and it also, I just love how it was its own gamified thing in the gaming world, and like, I don't know, getting to watch it play in the Bard's world was so cool, and the puzzling of getting to actually do like an alchemy thing in the Alchemist's world. I don't know. Yeah, all those were so cool. I'm glad you liked the gold terminals. That was such a fun puzzle.
I loved how the puzzles reflected. Again, they were used as a part of world building, so they reflected the theme of what they were attached to. Why are you sideways?
I'm trying to fix it.
Hi.
Really
Am I sideways?
You are sideways.
Panda?
Broke my brain.
Let me see. Hold on. I'm in the car. Let me see what happened here. The phone is still horizontal.
Yeah, that's what she said. Am I right?
I'm about to be horizontal. You keep talking to me like that.
Well,
Gross.
Hold on.
the only kind of the final big question I kind of wanted to end on, but I feel like we've been kind of answering this throughout the show, was basically, is this game about language or is it about connection? And I feel like we all have the same answer.
Language.
Fuck up.
Yes,
Yeah.
both. Like, if you want to get really pedantic, you can be like both. If you want to get like more, I don't know, introspective on it, like. But yeah, it's the connection. Like Big Slice said it. You know, it's the separation of things and how language evolves because of that, and then the connections that we forge once we can understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now just imagine the first time that a human, as we understand it, approached another human somewhere, didn't immediately kill them, and attempt to communicate with a language separate from their own.
Like, yeah.
You just hear those other sounds and you're like, oh, wait, I'm sorry. What are you doing with your mouth? That's insane.
Well, it'd be like, you know, you would say, I don't know what you, I mean, you would, you know, in appropriate context, be like, I don't know what you're saying. What are you saying? And they would respond with, I don't know what you're saying. What are you saying? Like,
I mean, the absolute best, like, recent interpretation, I feel, of that kind of scenario would be Project Hail Mary.
still haven't seen it, but yeah, I can assume as much. Oh wait, no, I saw the preview and it spoiled some stuff for on it. So no, I got that.
Never seen it.
Just trying to figure to that same vein, Arrival.
Yeah, that too.
Arrival.
Like,
oh, the goat.
You know, understanding because it's a language. Then they're like, we don't know what this is, and nothing we can do is anything about it. So let's go get like a theoretical linguist, essentially,
Someone
that can figure it out.
Like so,
dear.
like we mentioned earlier, so many Star Treks touched on this topic, so many sci-fi. It's like there's a lot of great stuff.
One of my favorite itty bitty like details about the Star Wars universe is that people will respond in whatever language they speak, and everybody will understand what they say. You know, like you have Han Solo bickering with Chewbacca. Chewbacca doesn't speak a word of English, but you would think they're an old married couple, even though they bicker and nobody can understand what they're saying. Like, and there's so many like weird little guys and droids and other stuff in there that do that same thing. And I think that's such a cool, like, you know, representation of what language, or, you know, kind of if they had some sort of global translator or something that somebody figured out.
Or even just like cutting out the middleman and being like, they understand each other. And the way that you convey that is by Screamer did the same thing for another recent game. I love
and
that.
Tekken. In Tekken 8, everyone speaks their own native language, but everyone understands each other.
So cool. And just like
I love
getting
that
to
so much.
have those moments of like Star Wars doing it, Tekken doing it.
You both died.
That gives you those feelings of it is possible. We can do this. And I love that. Like, I love being able to embed that in a person's brain because they've played this game or they've watched this movie. We're like, what if we could understand each other? And maybe they've never thought about that before, but now they've gotten to think about it. And
What happened? Oh,
we're good.
I am.
Okay, Java. No, I understand.
Alrighty. Well.
Yeah. What if we shared more? What if we connected more? What if?
There is a great.
Okay, Death Stranding.
I was about to say that.
There is a great song by it's a very kind of like classic early 2000s band that I just one of the songs that I really like called I guess what's this called? Somebody vamp for time. Somebody vamp for time while I look at my Spotify.
Yeah, okay, you're trading dangerously close to like this is millennial territory. You gotta speak of what you want. Like you said early 2000s. Are we talking?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, shut up. Are we like getting to like pre-emo, like pre-MCR days? Are we doing new wave of American heavy metal? Or what are we doing?
Okay, I found it.
I have
Uno, dos, tres, catorce!
What's the question?
What was that,
Panda?
Panda?
I have a confession for all of you. I have never hit my emo phase in life yet.
Oh, I'm excited for when it happens. I bet you'll be a midlife with a top-down convertible.
In middle school, a friend of mine gave me an iPod with like an assortment of music, and so I learned about Swedish techno music from Bass Hunter. Shout out to my dude. So I know Swedish music, but I can't
How about
tell
the
you what
bass mechanic?
Dude, I'll drop the bass. Also, in 2023, I started listening to Fall Out Boy for the first time. So that's
just excuse my language. Sorry.
So old.
Okay.
You
I
it's
found,
okay. You just
I
listen
found
to
it.
Fall Out Boy now.
Yeah.
He's an arms race.
What I need you to, I need you to start listening to The Offspring, if you haven't done so.
I know you're gonna go Far Kid.
He's like The Offspring. Yeah, they just did that song for Crazy Taxi, right? It was Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see the
so,
dumb
so
Do we believe all of that?
the song that I was thinking of is the song "What If" by Five for Fighting, and
Yeah.
it specifically it has this line in its refrain. What if you told my lies? What if I cried with your eyes? Could anyone keep us down? What if you were me? What if I were you?
Yeah.
And it's
Great reference.
it's just this world. Nothing is impossible if we don't just. Nothing is
together.
impossible if we just have empathy for each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say the core theme is empathy and like just the willingness to communicate. And like, I'm sure we've all struggled with trying to talk to someone that either isn't, ESL or has just not the complete grasp, and understanding that and just working with them, not getting frustrated and like, yeah, I understand we're both on the same level. Let's get this point across and figure out our common ground. That's why I'm always so impressed with people that are ESL. And I was like, man, I wish I was as smart as that or had that. I've been studying French now for I had 5 semesters in college. That was almost 20 years ago. But I've been doing, I got my Duolingo. Trying to keep the brain fresh. I still got my pocket French dictionary, but it's still not, but like you said, as long as we're willing to work together, like, yeah, we could build a tower to heaven, maybe?
Maybe. Let's give it a shot. I mean,
I think there's a place called Babel that's pretty good, but for that.
I'm sold.
All right, let's do it.
Alrighty. Well, that is going to be it for our general podcasting segment. Now we go to the pick of our next game. And for the first time on the Save Point Society, we are actually going to be having a guest join us next month. So
Just came through the garage door.
here with a little here with a little one here with a quick video from the one and only OM Jesus here.
What up, Save Point Society? It's your boy.
Why is it sideways?
I don't.
Who's sideways?
Wait, was it this one that I didn't have him sideways on?
Society, it's your boy Jesus, and I'm going to be joining you as a guest next episode. That's right, I'm here to pick the next game as your first actual guest, and I choose the game A Ranger a role puzzling adventure. That's right. It's an interesting puzzle game that's also like an action adventure game. And it looks really cool. I have played the demo, which I had told Goldenspider. He said it was okay. So we're going to hop in there. It's like a 6 to 7 hour experience. I think we're all going to love it. I can't wait to play, and I can't wait to be on the next episode. Thank you very much. Hell yeah. What up, Save?
Alrighty, and yeah, that's our next game from OMG's a Ranger, a puzzle something story. There's a lot of words
I'm
there.
gonna need a tag for that.
Yeah, well, we'll go ahead and put that in our kind of the link below, as always, for all of you to acquire it and play along with us. And yeah, perfect. OMG's is just threw the link up in chat. So yeah, until next time. Any final words from all y'all as we get out of here?
What up, Save Point Society? It's your boy.
There's a
Thanks, Jacob.
I just never said this earlier, and I'll kick myself if I don't. I love getting jump scared by like a mechanic getting more difficult, and I love how all of our games have done something like that, whether it was the giant Furbies that were leaping across the screen, or when all of a sudden the language was in a backwards grammar and you're just like, oh, I guess I can do this, and then surprise you do. Magic of gaming.
Every time I try and study Spanish and French, and they keep moving the adjective around.
Having to say to yourself constantly, object.
Like, I understand it's a red dress. It's a dress red.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
no matter what, you can do it.
with the final portal poses in this game, I had to look up what the right answer was because I knew what it was supposed to be, but I could just never get it in the proper order. But
I feel that so hard.
yeah, that is going to be it from us here at the Save Point Society. Thank you so much for joining us this fine Tuesday. Pushed the recording out a day late because we had life and we had a little bit of sickness going on. So thank you for hanging with us anyways, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.